We'll work on that. There. She knows I like dogs.
We appreciate.
You're right. Okay, we're playing musical mic here instead of musical chairs, I think. All right, does that work? All right, well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming and celebrating with us, celebrating the anniversary of signing what I think is just a wonderful document. And when Gloria asked me to come and share in this, I was honored, and then I started giving thought to, well, what shall I talk about? Because obviously the Constitution is many parts to it, and all of it really great. A lot of times people ask me, well, what do you think the most important amendment is? And my response has always been, well, the Second Amendment, because it protects all the other amendments. But I truly believe that at this point in time of our history, that it's the 10th Amendment that is the most important. And the reason I say that is because our founding fathers very specifically put the 10th Amendment in there to assure that the powers remain in the states. And we've gotten far from that. Most of you know the 10th Amendment, but I will read it here to you. It's quite simple. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So the power is in the states and the people. And through the dangling of the federal dollar out there, we have lost more and more and more of our power here in the state of Montana. And a lot of times we get to focusing on the president and the U.S. senators and stuff, and I truly believe that if we're going to take our country back, if we're going to restore this country, we have to focus on the 10th Amendment with our legislators and a governor that will stand up and tell the federal government that we are in charge of our state, not you, and take back control of it. You know, when I served as a state senator, I read the Constitution. I tried to be a constitutionalist legislator, and I'm very proud that I served that way very well. And I have to admit that I never really dove into the Constitution to fully understand the meaning of all the words. I would read the words, and when a bill would come up, I would read the Constitution that I felt pertained to it, and then make a decision based on that. But it hasn't been until recently that I really started to read the history and the words and the thinking and where they came from. And there's been a lot of organizations that have been very successful in helping to get out the information of that history. And in fact, Robert Brown is over here, which has been very helpful, from the John Birch Society. Thank you for coming, Robert. And there's their organization and several others as well that have been very successful in educating the individuals on really what the Constitution's meaning is. One of the other areas that kind of go along with the 10th Amendment was the Federalist Essay, number 45 by James Madison, and he goes on to explain the powers delegated by the proposed Constitution to the federal government are few and defined. Those which are to remain in the state governments are numerous and indefinite. The former will be exercised principally on external objects as war, peace, negotiation, and foreign commerce, with which last the power of the taxation will be, for the most part, be connected. The powers reserved to the several states will be extended to all the objects which in the ordinary course of affairs concerns lives, liberties, and properties of people, and the eternal order of improvement and prosperity of the state. Again, very specifically, nearly everything that affects our lives should be determined by the states. Is that where we're at right now? No, it certainly isn't. But can we take it back? Yes. We, the people, have the ability to restore it and take our country back. We just have to stand up and do it. It should not be DC's responsibility to choose what kind of health insurance we buy, or that we have to buy insurance at all. Doesn't need to be that way. Leaders from D.C. should not be deciding how many wolves survive in our state. Again, doesn't need to be that way. D.C. doesn't have to take any more ownership, or shouldn't be taking any more, because they don't even have the right to own much of the federal lands that they have in our state at this time. They should not have more ownership. They should not have more control over our lands here in Montana. Doesn't need to be that way. D.C. should not be deciding what kind of education we teach our children. Montanans should be making those decisions. D.C. should not, and it doesn't need to be that way. So, people, it's up to us. I can tell you by traveling the state the last 14 months, there are a lot of people that share our thoughts, I think by a large margin. So we have a task at hand. Those of us that are here, we have the task to get out, get the rest of the people to the polls, get them educated on the Constitution, get them educated that we do have the power to make a difference, but we have to take it. So with that, I just so much appreciate you coming today and helping us accomplish that, and in celebration of the Constitution, because it is the Constitution that made this the most powerful, envied, prosperous nation in a short 200 years. All of it comes back to the Constitution that our founding fathers gave us. Thank you, founding fathers. Thank you, God, for the country you have given us. God bless.